Full-time Devils, Brugge preview, the second leg. First one finished 1-1. It's all on this one. My name's Gaz Drinkwater. Jay's here. Dave's here too. Guys, let's get stuck in. We've got to carry on from that Watford game, haven't we? I know Ollie messed about with the team a little bit with the first leg against Brugge, and he has in the Europa League all season so far, but surely this time it's got to be full strength. Go at it. It's 1-1. Let's get into the next round.
It's weird, isn't it? Because all of a sudden, we seem to have options. We've gone from being threadbare to relying on players that we know aren't good enough to now being able to sort of shuffle it a bit and even leave players out of the squad who would normally be starting, like he did with Lingard and Pereira for the Watford game. And I think
leaving out the star players.
Well, yeah, I think he's got to be ruthless.
I
don't know if it's realisation whether players have come back from injury, whether it's just the signing of Bruno, maybe even a Gallo, or the fact that he's got fed up with the lack of form of some of these players. But Ollie has to be ruthless. His job's on the line, basically. And if he keeps playing players that aren't performing and he doesn't get the results that he needs, he's not going to see the season out. Or he might see the season out, but he certainly won't be the manager next season. So he has to start the strongest team. Manchester United, this current Manchester United team, isn't strong enough to be leaving several players out. Even against the likes of, no disrespect to Bruges, even against Rochdale. We couldn't beat Rochdale when we rested players.
You say Bruges, though, no disrespect to them. I know they're top of the Belgian league. That's not a bad achievement.
No, that's a good point. And I think that, you know, there were times years ago when we could have gone to Bruges and you would have played your half a reserve team, but that reserve team would have had players like Ji-Sung Park and Darren Fletcher.
Yeah. Happy birthday, by the way.
And Berbatov or whatever in it. Now you have a reserve team or a slightly weakened team. It's got likes of Lingard and Pereira and Delot, who had a stinker over in Belgium as well. So I think Ollie has to be ruthless with some of the fringe players, if you want to call them that. I think he has to go full strength. I know we'll get onto the starting 11 later, but I think when we've got those players, like the better players, the likes of Fred, the likes of Bruno. We saw it in Bruges when those two came on. It was a completely different team, a completely different game. So he's got to go for it. He's got to play his strongest team. The crowd won't settle for it as well. If we start this game with a weakened side and we're up against it, you're gonna feel it in the stadium. The atmosphere will go a bit toxic. We don't need that. We've got a bit of positivity following the Chelsea win and the Watford win as well. We need to build on that. And the Europa League, you know, I don't want to be in the Europa League, but we are in it. It's Champions League football. It's a trophy. Just try and fucking win it.
Yeah, we have been really dire in it, though, haven't we, this year? Some of our performances.
Yeah,
is it to do with team selection?
Yeah, the team's just not good enough. I mean, like you were saying, we've got to play the strongest team in every game if we're going to get a result. And with this Europa League, I know you don't like it and stuff, but deep down, you know, Ollie thinking, I want to win this trophy, I want to lift this. Because at the end of the day, managers want to win trophies. But for the team, yeah, you're right. The reserves, well, they weren't knowing the reserves are fringe players, just not good enough, are they, really? And, I mean, Bruno's changed it up a bit, hasn't he? And I'm fingers crossed that he's the real deal, but I'm just hoping it's not just a... We've got a new player.
I mean, what you mean. Don't want to get carried away, but he's probably the greatest player I've ever seen in my life.
But I don't want him to be one of them players who, like Di Maria, when we got him, how amazing was he? And then he just went...
See our kid tweet that and then delete it off Twitter. He deleted it.
Never delete
Dave, if you're watching this, honestly,
delete.
We've been hammering for him on Talking Balls because you can't be deleting tweets. But Bruno Fernandes is the greatest player to ever play for Manchester United.
Of course,
he's going to save our season.
Yeah, I mean...
We've got the bonus as well of McTominay coming back. I mean, that's a huge... He's been a huge miss.
Is he ready to start this one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he could be. I mean... You know, like I said, we've got options now. You could have a midfield where you have Matic, Fred and Bruno, which is a very strong midfield, or you could have Fred, McTominay and Bruno. I think, for me, Bruno has to start. That's a given. And I think you can mix it up and have McTominay and Matic, or Fred and McTominay, or whatever other combination. But Bruno, I know we don't want to get carried away, but you can see the quality he's got. He's a class act. And don't forget, this game is at 1-1. We're not 4-0 up. So, you know, they get an early goal, or if they even get, you know, we go 1-0 up, we still know that they get an equaliser back to square one. So
it's at home as well. He's got to win because I think the crowd will, even though we've had a couple of good results, I think the crowd will turn again once if we got beat by Bruges at home.
So we talk about the crowd, talk about the atmosphere around the club, staying in the Europa League. Obviously, fans want to be in the Champions League. We don't want to be in this competition, but is getting to the next round enough to sort of improve the atmosphere even further and keep the good sort of feeling going after the recent results?
I think so, yeah. I think we're almost starting again a little bit at United. We've had so many sort of transitional periods, gone in all these circles. We're in a circle, you know, we started again after Moyes, then we started after Fergie, then after Moyes, then after Van Gaal, and all the rest of it. But I feel like now we're at that stage again where we're having to take stock and we're saying, right, what's our strongest team? Are we going to back this manager? Are we going for these competitions? And I think if we were to get a run going in Europa and actually win it, I think next season, Ollie would still keep his job. I think, you've won a trophy, you're in the Champions League, he keeps his job, and then you can do a proper sort of, I don't say rebuilding, but you can build on what he's done. He's given some of the youngsters a chance. He's brought in some signings. You can build on that. If we go, I'm not saying if we go out of the Europa, Ollie loses his job, but if we go out of the Europa and don't make the top 4 and don't win a trophy, we're starting all over again in the summer, because I think Ollie gets sacked. Pochettino is probably the most likely manager to come in. He may not rate some of the signings that Ollie's made. He may not like some of them. He may like others. He may not rate some of the youngsters that Ollie's bringing through. So he may want to start all over again. So I think now we just need to go for it. I think this is an opportunity where you're in the knockout stages. You're not up against Europe's elites. You're up against some good teams like Bruges are, but you're not up against the Barcelonas, Real Madrids, the Cities, or the Liverpools. So you've got a chance of winning it. There's no reason not to. And I know I always say this, but Stockholm was a great night. It was a fantastic night for many different reasons. Winning it, getting in Europe, and obviously what had gone on the previous days with the tragedy and everything else. But to win this trophy and to get into the Champions League would be a massive achievement. And I think the fans would love that. So in answer to your question, I think there is a possibility to build on a bit of good feeling here. And I think, a win over Bruges isn't going to do that, but it can be part of something, just like the win over Chelsea was, just like the win over Watford was. You beat Bruges, you go on, you get a result against Everton next, I think, as well in the league. And then all of a sudden, you're feeling a bit more positive. You feel not like you were when Ollie took over and Ollie's at the wheel, but you can get a bit of momentum going, because we've had no momentum this season. We have 1 or 2 good results, and then it's 2 shit ones. And we need to do better than that.
Because like you're saying is spot on. I think we're halfway through it. Ollie's got rid of the players that he wants to get rid of, but I don't think he's brought all the players he wants to bring in yet. And you're right, if we don't win something and they sack him at the end of the season, it's going to be starting all over again. Whereas even if we didn't win anything, I'd want to keep him on for another year, just to get him to that point where he's got his team ready. And then if it doesn't work out, yeah, fair enough. But he's not finished what he's doing yet.
On the counter argument to that, do you not think that Mauricio Pochettino would be the perfect man to come in and continue the good things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing, promoting youth, sort of buying young, hungry players who want to play for Man United?
Yes and no, but
no.
He did get sacked from Tottenham for being crap. It's not like he left it on the high note. It was
the problem is, and we've seen all this before. I remember having these similar conversations about Mourinho before he come to United, when everyone was fed up with Van Gaal. And the thing with Mourinho is he'd won 2 Champions Leagues, he'd won 3 titles in England, he'd won titles everywhere he'd gone. Mauricio Pochettino's won nothing. Right, he got sacked with Tottenham in 14th, and he had quality at Tottenham. You look at, I always say,
their squad was miles better than ours.
You look at the bench he had for his last game as Tottenham manager. They had Harry Winks, they had Christian Eriksen, they had Toby Alderweireld, and they had Lucas Moura on the fucking bench. Now you go to United and you've got the likes of, no respect to him, but you're looking at players like, I don't know, Pereira and Lingard or Delors or Jones on your bench to try and change it, or even a Gallo who's, we don't know what he's going to do, whether he's good enough. It's not the same, and I think Mauricio Pochettino is going to have a rude awakening if he comes to Old Trafford, going from what he's been at Spurs to what he's going to come to. And I don't know if he is the answer, because he's never won anything.
No.
He finished 3rd in a 2-horse race, and there's this idea that he doesn't spend money. He spent 400 million quid when he was at Spurs.
Everyone's going on that because he got to the Champions League final, which was a great achievement, but it was a one-off.
What's the better achievement? Ollie winning the Europa League this season with this current Man United squad, or Spurs getting to that Champions League final with that team?
Winning the Europa League.
Europa.
Because that squad of Tottenham's was amazing.
Yeah, better than ours.
Look at Harry Kane, just having Harry Kane up front, he was banging that season.
I'm not being funny, right? But I don't get this narrative as well that getting to the final is a massive achievement. I wasn't buzzing when we got beaten in the 2009 final. I wasn't buzzing when we got beaten in the 2011 final. I didn't think, we got to the final, that's great. No, it isn't. You need to win it, and they didn't even fucking turn up. They did what we did in 2009 Spurs. They didn't turn up. Liverpool just walked that game. It was like the most one-sided 2-0 I think I've ever seen. So just getting to the final isn't good enough. You should be aiming to win it. If he'd have won the Champions League, then we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. And I'd love him because he'd have stopped the Scousers winning it. But he didn't. And I just think it's always, the grass is greener. If we just get Mourinho, or if we just get Van Gaal, or if we just get Poch, and Poch out of all those managers I've just mentioned is the one with the worst CV. So yes, he might be an improvement on Ole. I don't know, but this idea that it's nailed on he's going to be our saviour is just a nonsense.
But I just don't know where it's come from. United fans for years and years. We had Fergie, and even when we're having bad results, these people say no, you got to give him time. It's longevity. The moment Moyes comes in, right, get rid of him. The moment Van Gaal comes in, get rid of him. What another manager? Mourinho, got sick of him, get rid of him. It's just the same cycle. Where's that come from? Because surely, as a United fan, most people have watched us have longevity and have a manager that can, even in the bad times, it's going to come good in the end because he's got something to build or, he's going a certain way. But now, people haven't got time for that anymore. They just want a new manager straight away, instant success. And I don't think that's healthy.
I kind of think that United being the club that it is now, different to the club that it was when Fergie first took over. This big commercial powerhouse, the money that it generates.
I'm not talking even about when he first took over. I'm talking about later on because these people win. It's even like.
But he'd had pedigree, ante later on. We knew that he was going to come good because he had already done it. I'm just putting the counter argument to you. I'm not saying I necessarily agree. But I think that fans maybe do have more of a right now to expect success a little bit because of the size of the club that we are. Maybe. Yeah.
But we just haven't got the squad.
Do you know what? I get where you're coming from.
We don't have the squad.
And I think you can look at it on paper. And I've had this argument with people that weren't watching United, that aren't United fans. You can look at it and you think, well, why'd you get rid of Van Gaal? He got your top 4. He won the FA Cup the next season. He brought through the likes of Rashford and Tim Fosu-Mensah. I know Fosu-Mensah's not exactly worked out. But, why'd you sack your manager when you won the FA Cup? Mate, if you were watching that football, and we all were, it was fucking tragic. It was horrible. It was, we were doing fucking quizzes during the game where we were sat. We were. You know what I mean? We were bored to tears, and there's no way I could have stomached another season. And I'm sorry, I don't care who was binging through what he was doing. It was awful.
I remember I was on overnights when he was manager, and I was falling asleep genuinely at games like a couple of times.
That's what I mean. And it's like you can look at it on paper and think, but the point being is the football was terrible under Jose. Towards the end, especially, it didn't make any sense. The football was bad. At least with Ole, yes, we've had bad results. I'm not going to excuse that. We should be beating the likes of Bournemouth, West Ham, Newcastle. I could go on, I won't. But we've also seen what this team is capable of under.
When it's good, they've been the best since Ferguson.
We beat City a couple of times. We beat Spurs. We beat Chelsea. We'll keep beating them. You can see that this team is capable of getting results. When he took over, we saw what happened then. So it's not like the football's constantly tragic or constantly terrible. He just needs to do better against the lesser teams. I think that has been his Achilles heel. He's not got the results he should have done against the bottom half of the table, and that's what's undone him. But there's no reason to think that this is as bad as it was under the likes of Moyes and Van Gaal and Mourinho towards the end, because it isn't. And I think there is signs there that this team could move forward, and whether Ole will be that man remains to be seen, but I'm certainly not giving up on him.
I mean, he's been unlucky in a way that Maguire's taken a bit of time to get settled in, and I don't think he's at his best still yet. His partner, whoever it is, Bailly or Lindelof, up to them whether they're going to be good that game or not. The left-back situation, maybe that's up to him, picking Shaw over Williams or how it's working. Wan-Bissaka, for me, he's a great defender, but he's not. Sometimes he's not on his game. So defensively, that's where we're failing. That's not necessarily down to him. That's just the players.
Would you though, if you could go back to the summer now, would you change any of them signings that he's made?
This is what I was about to say. It's almost like he's done a quarter of the job, innit? He wanted to rip out part of the squad and replace it. He's managed to rip out a little bit of the part that he wanted and not replace them at all. So it's like a 2-3 year job, this, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think my one main criticism of Ole and his transfer strategies, I think we got rid of too many players without replacing him. Herrera being the main one.
Is that Ole's fault though? We don't know.
We don't know.
Could be Woodward. Who knows?
I spoke to one journalist who insisted that it wasn't Ole's fault, that Ole went to Woodward and said, I want Herrera to stay, I want to keep him, once he got given the job permanently. But by that time, Herrera had been fucked about with his contract that much, and PSG had obviously...
Well, luckily it all worked out for Ander Herrera, who's played about 3 games for PSG
warming the bench
season.
in Paris rather than being one of our main players. You can work that one out for yourself. Lukaku, I can see why we got rid of him, because people again have rose-tinted glasses, but when he was bad, he was shocking.
For me, it wasn't.
But we didn't replace him.
It wasn't playing bad. It was when he was good, he was good. But it was a style of play. He was just lumping balls up to a big man, and he didn't. Straight away when he came in, you could see that he didn't want to play that type of football. And the first thing he said, I think, was he wanted to try and get rid of him. But yeah, you're right. We haven't replaced him, but he's been unlucky that way. He's had Martial, who's been playing once again. Can be good, can be bad. Rashford injured. Greenwood, he's got, he's still a young kid. He didn't play well the other day, and obviously he scored. But if all 3 of them are fit and playing well, nobody would be talking about Lukaku. It's just the fact that Martial can't turn it on all the time.
Well, you're saying not fit, fit and playing well. Let's talk about Martial a little bit then, shall we? He's been in good form recently, really good form. Big criticism from me and many other fans about 6 weeks ago was, is he a proper centre-forward? Is he going to score them proper centre-forward goals? The goals against Chelsea, leaped header, brilliant. The goal against Brugge, a bit of tenacity to get on the end of the mistake.
That header against Chelsea was brilliant, but Did he play well in that game? I thought he was awful.
But I don't
He scored a
mind
goal.
that.
He scored
I don't
a
mind
goal.
that.
I know.
I don't mind a striker playing badly and scoring.
Totally.
I don't mind that.
I
I'd rather he played
I-
well, obviously,
of
but
course.
I can stomach it.
But it's only because we won that game. If he scored and then Chelsea had scored, you would be talking about, oh, he played shit. He should have done this. And I just think a centre forward should be playing better.
Well, like,
I'm in two minds about
pains
him.
me to do it, but I'll do it. Right? Look at Roberto Firmino, who everyone wanks over. He's amazing. He's reinvented that role, and he's this, that, and the other, and he makes Liverpool tick. And he's if you actually took him out the side, they suffer. Martial's a similar type, not identical, but a similar type of striker. Likes to drop deep, likes to go in the channels, not always in and around the box, not a poacher. Likes to bring in those around him as well. And his numbers, in terms of assists and goals, are better, I think, than Firmino's. And Firmino gets Firmino gets raved about, and he's in a much stronger team, a team that's attacking a lot more than Martial is. Now, I'm not Martial's biggest fan. I think that some of the criticism is warranted. There's times where he does look a little bit disinterested. There's times when he should be making the runs that he doesn't, and I think he wastes some of his runs as well. But I think some of the criticism is OTT, and I think his record is actually good enough. I think it is this season, and I think he's stepped up over the last few games. I think we need to build on that, and he's benefiting greatly from having a decent midfielder behind him in Bruno. Bruno's pinging those passes that Pogba would have been pinging, that Martial thrives off. So I think he's doing all right, I do.
What you're talking about there, if Martial had Mane and Salah next to him, you'd be saying, "Oh, how great he is!" Because
you would.
of course you would. Working together. He's working on his own a bit, and that's probably where the criticism's coming from, because all eyes are on him.
He's not that type of player. Someone like Marcus Rashford is someone, right, that will run his heart out all day long. And if he was like your lone striker, I know he's not necessarily a centre forward, but if he's your lone striker, he'd be bombing forward, be getting on the end of everything, he'd be hustling defenders, and you'd be like, oh, he's putting a shift. Martial's not that type of player, and you're not going to reinvent him as that type of player. But the player that he is now, that Ollie's giving him that role as a sort of a number 9, and in that type of role a little bit deeper, I think he's doing all right, and I think just like Ollie, maybe needs a little bit more time to the end of the season.
I think he is doing all right, but we've seen what he actually can do in previous years. Even under Van Gaal, he was a better player than he is now.
Well, you see,
Wait, hang on. This season is his best goal-scoring season by a mile. He scored 10 in 21.
Do you know what it is, right?
That's impressive.
It's the same. It's a touch of the Marcus is about him, right? What happened with Martial, and it's similar to Marcus. He burst onto the scene with quite a few goals, quite exciting goals, big goals against Liverpool for Martial, a goal against City for Marcus. And everyone's like, oh, this is amazing, we're going to score those goals. And when they don't keep that up, people think, oh, they're not as good as they used to be, but they've matured a little bit as well, and they've adapted as well. So someone like Andy Cole, for example, scored more goals in a season at Newcastle than he did at United, but he was a better player at United. Yeah. And I'm not saying that these are as good as Andy Cole's. I love Andy Cole, but they've adapted the game. They've had to do different roles. We've seen Marcus play everywhere, all over the pitch. We've seen Martial play everywhere and be moved about. We've seen them be swapped with each other, and now we've seen them sort of settled into their position in the team. So I think we have got to be a little bit patient, because Marcus has only really started shining consistently when he's been playing on the left consistently, so Rashford's been playing consistent on the left, he's been shining. And Martial now seems to be gelling in that role that he's in the number 9, with the players that he's got around him. So give him a chance.
Also, I've noticed recently, going on about Martial a lot here, but he seems to just be getting in the box more. I know you say he's been playing as a number 9, but it does seem like now he's got that idea in his head, I need to get into that box. It sounds simplistic, but it's helped.
I think some of his runs as well actually are quite intelligent, because the other day we saw it, I think it was Aubameyang for Arsenal. He ran into the box and he stopped. And what he did was he stopped his run, and I think it was, I might be getting his name wrong, the lad, Sadibi, whoever it was marking him, sort of carried on running, then realised, and he bought himself half a yard, and the ball came in and he scored. And Martial started doing those sort of runs sometimes where he's running and he'll drop off, and I think if he's got wingers that can find him, or fullbacks who are getting forward and who can find him, that might help him as well. I don't think it's necessily always he's lazy. It's a stupid analogy. I know you guys don't use it.
I don't think he's lazy.
I'm not criticising you saying that. Sorry. People say he's lazy. He's not. I think sometimes he doesn't make the most intelligent of runs, and I think he's actually growing a little bit in that, and he's realising this is when to run, this is when not to, this is where to go. Not perfect, because there's times against Watford he should have been a bit closer to goal, but I think he's getting there, and I think some of his runs are actually quite intelligent. I think sometimes other players around him need to get on that wavelength.
I wouldn't say he was lazy, but I think he does give up sometimes a little bit. If 3 or 4 things in a row aren't gone his way, you can see him like the next one he won't bother with it, and I don't think that's laziness. I think that's can't.
I think that's a fair comment, and he needs to sort of improve on that as well. But I don't want to keep sitting on the fence. Yes, it's not all black and white. Yes, he can improve certain aspects of his game, but it doesn't help when you've got the likes of Jesse Lingard just not playing a simple ball to you, or Andreas Pereira putting it into Rosad.
Absolutely. Guys, get your thoughts in below. Tell us about Anthony Martial. We want to hear your opinions. Right, predicted 11's time. Who is going to play against Brugge at home? It's got to be a stronger team. And it, Dave?
Yeah, I think he's going to do this.
I've not even done a team, and it's 3 of us. I need to do a team.
I think he's going to do. I'm going to do it off the top of my head.
Okay.
I think he's going to do.
All right.
He's going to go 3 at the back again.
The under 20 for
I think he's going to have 3 at the back with wing backs again, because that seems to be the strongest team at the moment. So Maguire.
Who's in goal?
That's a good question, actually, isn't it?
Dave's going for a revolutionary.
I think he'll go Romero again.
Right, okay.
Yeah. He's Maguire, Shaw on the left hand side of the 3, and then Bailly.
Oh, do you think Bailly?
I think he'll do Bailly.
Okay.
Williams left wing back. Wan-Bissaka, Fred, McTominay, Fernandes.
Got
to be in it. Martial, Greenwood, James.
Jay?
Is that right?
No.
I've done too many.
You've done, yeah.
This is why you don't
no Greenwood.
You've got 5-3-3.
No Greenwood. No Greenwood then.
I still don't think we
I
win,
can't
to be
count.
honest.
Oh yeah,
I'm still not confident.
So you didn't pick a keeper, and then you picked.
Yeah, that's what it is.
11
No, we don't
players.
we don't need a keeper.
When I said I think he needs to go for it, I didn't mean don't have a keeper.
Fly goalie. We'll lose Luke Shaw's arse.
Yeah,
he'll be
I
fine.
Lie Luke Shaw across the goal.
Sorry, Luke. You've been in good form recently. Sorry.
Yeah, so
don't get me started on that.
Martial and James, then I don't think he'll play Greenwood. I'd like him to, but
Right, okay. While Gaz does it on his phone,
Yeah, go on.
I'll go with Romero in goal. I'll go with 4-3-3. A back 4 of Williams, Bailly, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka. I'll have, even though I hate 2 older midfielders, I'll have Fred and McSauce, and then I'll have Bruno Fernandes, the greatest player in the history of Manchester United Football Club, just in front of them. And my front 3 will be Daniel, James, Anthony Martial. I'm picking the same team.
Yeah, I think so. My formation's off, but it's all. I think you fit the same team as me.
Is it right? And then on the left-hand side, I'll have Tahith Chong. Just to be different from you.
Right.
I hate having the same team as someone.
I've done 3 at the back.
Oh right, well, we wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, well, it's different formation, but it'll be a similar team, won't it?
No, it wouldn't. Right. I'm not putting Chong in then. I'm putting Greenwood in. Because mine's still different. It's all right. Go on.
Oh, okay. Romero, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw as your centre halves. Wan-Bissaka on the right. Williams on the left. Fred, McTominay, Fernandes in midfield, and Martial and James up front.
Yeah, it's the same as mine then.
Is it the same team as yours? Oh no! Oh nightmare! I was just doing it as you were speaking. I was just repeating.
You never listen to us, guys.
I tell you what. No, I can't change that for Greenwood because you've put that. Oh well. Neither of us will win. Guys, get in your predicted team in the comments below. I'm sure you'll beat us. It's not that difficult. Right, opposition. Brugge, what do you know? Anyone?
Dennis is good, isn't it?
Dennis scored a goal.
Dennis the Menace.
I think one thing we can all say from the first leg is that
Belgian beer's nice.
Yeah, well, you can say that. We can't.
Lovely. I'm so glad I didn't get in the ground, you know. Honestly, I went over there thinking I might try and get a ticket. And some guy was like, 200 quid for a ticket. I was like, right, there's no fucking chance. Go to a Belgian bar, pissing down outside and sat there with a lovely fruity beer. Oh, lovely. Fruity beer for a fruity guy.
A load of lads I know, some of them did the same thing. They were like, I think some of them might have even had a fucking ticket. Ended up staying in the But no, one thing we can see is you mentioned it earlier, Gaz, these aren't any mugs, and I think we were a little bit arrogant in going into that game. Not just Ollie and his team selection. Some of the fans were a bit like, it's only the Belgian league, and we got a bit of a wake up call there. We've all said we can't take this game for granted. They have got some good players. We rolled our luck a little bit in the first leg. Dennis could have had a hat trick, and some of the other players as well. The lad who never scored in his life almost got a goal. His name escapes me.
Let me guess, he was 15 and had scored the next day as well. Seems
well,
to always happen.
All the kids he had as well. Some of those like proper kids. They look like that lad who played for Rochdale.
Luke Matherson.
Yeah, the one.
mate.
Yeah, who had his GCSEs the next day or whatever. It was
It's
just
good how you remembered his name.
Shut up. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Of when Luke Matherson came to my... We'll fucking tell it now.
Yeah, go on.
Came to a radio show the next day after he'd scored against United, and he walks in the studio, and like obviously I recognised him, and I went to introduce him, and then realised I'd forgot his fucking surname.
Was this live?
Yeah, live on the radio, and I was like, now the hero, the legend from last night, Luke, and then Kyle was just like, Matheson, you legend, and I was like, oh, you legend, Kyle.
Mate,
Luke,
why did he bail you out?
Luke, if you're watching, I'd never forget your name now because you're a hero. It was the day after, to be fair.
He got away with that one. Anyway, yeah, they had a load of children playing for him, but they did really well. So I think we can't take it for granted. We can't be too dismissive. We know they're a strong team because we've played them. We've seen what they're capable of. We know that, as we've all mentioned, we've got to go strong as well. And I think that if we go strong, we should beat them.
Yeah, we should definitely. I think just go for it. Just like Tyson Fury the other night, just go for it and you end up winning.
Just go for it.
That's what we should do. Just come out, lead with your jab. You'll be alright.
Exactly.
What we need to do is make sure Brugge have loads of heavy costumes on as they're coming out.
What is that about?
Maybe we'll win it.
Mate, do you know what?
That's the
I
best
had a
excuse.
newfound
Best
respect
excuse.
for Deontay Wilder, right? After the way he acted after the fight.
Because he said no
He
excuses.
said no excuses, right? We corner through the towel and whatever. I thought, right, do you know what? I thought he was a bit of a knobhead, but he's not. He's all right. And then last night I seen that my costume was too ever. What?
Fucking brilliant.
What are you on about? You absolute
brilliant.
muppet. What are you talking about? Like, it weighed 45 pounds. So I don't know a lot about pounds and things and ounces. We're in British, aren't we?
Don't bet you fucking do.
Yeah. Cheeky that, innit? Yeah. Harsh but fair. So, alright. Just because you have to run around in the shower to get wet, you little wet. So
I wouldn't even say anything like that, right? I'll tell you after.
Alright.
Someone watching will know what I mean. Someone watching will know.
Alright, okay,
Yeah.
right, okay. Yes, fine. Let's say no more. Yeah, when I saw what he was saying, like 45 pounds, I thought that must weigh a ton. Like, what is that? And then worked out, it's like, it's not that heavy.
It's like what, 2 stone or something.
Like a toddler.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's like giving a toddler a piggyback. Mate, you're an heavyweight champion of the world. Get a grip.
If you have any opinions on Deontay Wilder's costume, please feel free to get
I mean, it looked good.
below.
Deontay, if you are watching, I do actually like you and fully respect what you said.
Score predictions. What are we saying? 1-1. What is it? What is the aggregate scoreline?
The aggregate scoreline
1-1 from the first leg.
will be 4-2. I think we'll win 3-1 on the night.
That's a decent shout.
I think 4-3. We'll win 3-2 on the night. I think that.
I don't like that.
I know, I don't either, but...
Have you not had enough 3-2s lately, you?
No. I love him.
Love a good 3-2, Dave.
Hey.
He loves a good 3-2.
No, I think that's... I don't know, I still think we're a bit suspect at the back, so...
I do as well. I'm not buying this whole Luke Shaw's the greatest player in history. Shenanigans that are going on. Don't get me started on that. I still think he gets caught out of position too much.
Look, I hope he is. I hope he's finally realised that he's actually quite good.
Yeah, I hope he's realised that he's, if he leaves United, I don't care what anyone says, he's not going to go to a Barcelona or a Real Madrid or even a City or Liverpool. Probably they're better.
I don't want to...
Bigger, sorry.
I don't even think Southampton are taking
Yeah, he's
back.
going to go back. He's going to go down the leagues. He's going to end up doing a Danny Welbeck.
I don't want to start another debate right at the end of the video,
Sorry.
but, like, genuinely, Luke Shaw, even though I slag him off more than anyone, when he is fit, consistently, he fucking plays well.
I still
He
think
does.
his positional sense lets him down, and I think even against Watford, there was a couple of times where, for me, when you're playing on either the left side of a free or as left back, if you're that man on that side and you've got a winger coming down and there's no one else there defensively, you've got to try and get him to cut that cross out. He should be over there, and he doesn't, and he gets caught in no man's land too often, where he's not stopping the cross and he's not marking a man. He's just in the middle. And also going forward, I don't think he's pushing on enough. Yes, there's been improvements.
That's his problem, though.
There's been improvements. I don't want to hate on him because he has improved, but he's, this whole idea that yes, he's cracked it and he's there. He's not. There's more levels to go from Luke Shaw, and I want to see him reach those levels. If he was
the 1980s, he'd be a great left back because he wouldn't be bombing forward. He can do one or the other, and when he's got to do both, I don't think he can cope with it, and he messes up going forward. And then when he's thinking about that, he messes up going back.
Right, my score prediction is 2-1 on the night, 3-2 overall, which is going to be a frigging nightmare to watch because we're going to be 2-1 up and probably defending like hell at the end. It'll be another one of them, won't it, where we could do with Fellaini to get it off the line. Do you remember that?
Fellaini.
Who was that against? Rostov, was it?
I think that he got a last minute winner against Rostov.
Or was it Celta Vigo won it?
No, Celta Vigo.
Celta Vigo when that lad, what's his name, fluffed it at the end.
Oh, was it John Guidetti?
Yeah.
City guy.
Aye.
I thought you'd have that photogenic memory.
Who did he have in the Champions League when we beat Juventus? Was it last season or the season? Yeah, last season.
Yeah.
We only scored one goal at home, didn't we? And that was Fellaini. Was that against Young Boys?
Yeah, Young Boys last minute winner when Jose threw his water.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's the only goal we scored at home in the Champions League.
Right, we need to go before I give everyone coronavirus. Get in the comments below, guys. Anything we've chatted about you think is nonsense? Anything you chatted about we agree with? Whole thing. Get in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time. I'm Gaz, that's Dave, that's Jay. See you in a bit.